I had a best friend, not just a friend. He was like a brother to me. And we never fell out. We never argued, and nothing ever happened between us except fights that strengthened our brotherhood. When we were kids, there were no smartphones or mobile phones. If I wanted to see him, I had one option. I'd call his house, the home phone, the only phone. And half the time, his mum would pick up and say he is not here. He's playing outside somewhere. So, and right there, I had a decision to make. So, do I get on my bike and ride all the way to the neighborhood to look for him or not? So, that was the first mission. The step one wasn't hanging out somewhere, step one was finding him. So, I'd get on my bike in the heat and just go looking for him, then looking for the others, ringing doorbells, dragging people out of their houses. If there was someone inside playing video games, I'd guilt them into it, and I would be like, "Come on, everyone is outside playing. Don't be playing video games by yourself." Would basically force them out, and would just exist like kids, climb trees for cherries, grab whatever fruit we could reach, because it was free. So would play football for hours until we couldn't stand up anymore. So, and on the good days, the really good days, one of us would show up with a cold drink in a fresh bottle his mum just bought. So that was rare. Back then, you didn't get everything you wanted. So a cold drink was an event. We would sit under a tree, in the shade, passing the bottle around, and there would be this little warm wind on your arms, on your forearms, and the back against the trunk, and it felt like happiness that would never end. Now you are waiting for me to say that we grew up, got jobs, and drifted apart. Everyone tells that story. That's not what happened. We beat all of that. School, university, first jobs, we were still very close. It was still like brothers. Nothing changed. Still the same two people, the same values. So through my studies, I was lost, depressed, honestly, and he was there. Would sit in his car for hours just talking it through. He listened. He was there for me when I had nothing. That was real. That mattered to me. And then I moved to another city. Now, here is what I didn't understand back then. All of that, the phone calls, the bike rides, hunting people down, dragging them outside of their houses, that was actually work, that was effort. Friendship was already effort, and I just couldn't see it because at that age, the effort felt like the fun. And for the first time, the thing that pulled us together, the same streets, the same neighborhood, the same daily life we had, the same habits, the same places where we used to hang out, it was finally gone. The real test began. So I still tried, I would WhatsApp him, I'm coming this weekend. Are you available? Are you free at this time? Let's meet up. I kept reaching out. So slowly, a question that did creep in that I hated myself for thinking at this moment, am I doing all of this for someone who isn't doing the same for me? Is he even as happy to see me as I am happy to see him? So, and right as I started asking that, my energy ran out. New city, longer days, and I'm tired became the easiest thing to say. So, because friendship never dies from one big decision, it dies from 100 small not tonight's. I can't do tonight, and so on. Even though it felt fair at that time. So there is a name for that, the mere urgency effect. So we deal with whatever feels urgent at the moment, and a friendship is never urgent. So it can always wait until next week, until there is none. So, and you are thinking, that's just adult life, everyone gets tired, it's normal. That's the exact word I hid behind normal, until one day I did something stupid. I opened our chat and I scrolled all the way up. Now I overthink everything, especially relationships. I'm always trying to be balanced. Not the guy who does too much, not the guy who doesn't care. Trying to find the right spot. So one day, the question I had been avoiding finally came out. Am I the problem? So I decided to check like data. I opened our chat and read back through months of it, and the pattern was right there, clear as day. You couldn't unsee it. So 4 times out of 5, I was the one reaching out. I was the one saying, let's go grab something to eat, let's catch up. Him, maybe once a month or every 1 month and a half. And almost always when he had something heavy going on, so a bad day or too much on his mind, just to get some relief, So he'd reach out to talk, rarely just to see me. And then I started doing something quieter, maybe crueler. I'd send a message, then I'd just watch how long would it take him to answer, how long before he even noticed I was there. And the answer kept getting longer, a day, then a few days, then longer than that. And every time a little more time, like watching someone slowly walk away, and you are just standing there counting the steps. And I'm not going to pretend that that was just an interesting thing to notice, an interesting pattern in human behavior. It broke something inside me. I could feel it. I was really saddened by that, because what I was really finding out was this thing that I called a brotherhood didn't mean the same thing on his side. So for me, seeing him was a joy, it was not a need. I'd be really happy just to hang out with him, and I couldn't stop asking myself one question: why don't you feel the same urge to see me that I feel to see you? And I couldn't accept it, and for a long time I couldn't accept it, because my whole life growing up I was so sure that this one was forever. This is the friendship that doesn't end, that kind of thing happens to the other people, but never to me. It cannot happen to me, it's impossible. Then it did. So once I'd sat with all of that, I decided I needed to know for sure. I ran a test. But before I tell you what happened, I want to be fair, because before you turn him into the bad guy, it's not. He's an introvert. Being around people genuinely tired him out. So it wasn't that he didn't care. When I was going through a hard time, he showed up every single time. But that's when it hit me. A friendship can be completely real and still go in one direction. He cared about me. He was never going to be the one who pick up the phone first, that's for sure. And both of those things were true at the same time. So and then a memory came back, a trip we took together, 2 grown men who flew to the US, to the West Coast, Los Angeles, Vegas. Still the same 2 people from the bikes. At some point, our rental car got towed off Bollywood Boulevard. $350 gone. And I remember him staying completely calm. It's fine, it will work out. He could stay calm because I was the one on the phone sorting it out, I was the one handling everything. I'd always told to myself, it was just me, I like to be in control. So, but going back through that chat, I finally saw for what it was. It was never about control. It was always me doing the work on that trip, in the friendship, all the way back to a 10-year-old on a bike calling his house, asking if he could come out. It was always me who called first, so I stopped. So I stopped reaching out, with him and a few others too. Not out of anger, out of curiosity. I wanted to know which of my friendships were genuinely going both ways and which ones I just been keeping alive on my own. Because here's the thing, when someone truly wants you in their life, you can feel it. They check in, they reach back, and when they don't, the silence says everything. The words never did. With him, the silence just stayed. A week, a month, a year, 5 years have gone by, still the same. And the day I stopped being the one to always make the move, I found out that I'd been carrying this friendship alone the whole time. He was right there next to me. He just never did his part. And before this turns into something like, oh, poor me, bloody me, what a one-sided friend, I opened other people's chats too, and for some of them, I was the one who never reached out. I was the silence someone else was tired of, the friend I was quietly frustrated with. For someone else, that friend was me. And here's what I actually learned: friendship isn't a feeling. The feeling is easy. You can care about someone for 30 years and never see them. Friendship is something you build and keep building. Two people both putting in, taking turns carrying it. The moment only one person is carrying it, it's not really a friendship anymore. It's just one person doing the work for two. So I still think about that kid under the tree passing the cold drink around, feeling like it would never end. That kid was completely sure this friendship was the one that would last forever, sure in the way only a child can be, totally without any doubt. I still haven't fully made a peace with the fact that he was wrong. And no, this isn't about keeping score or counting messages. It's about being honest with yourself about the difference between I care about this person and this friendship is still alive. Those are not the same thing. You can care about someone who has just become a memory. So I stopped holding on to friends out of guilt. I started looking at which ones were actually going both ways. The people who reach back, I put my energy into them. I protect those. That's it. The ones who don't, I don't hold it against them. I just stop doing for both of us. And for the first time, I didn't reach out on his birthday, not out of spite, just because I knew it would only go one way. That's when I knew it was really over, not with anger, just with clarity. My friend from the bikes, I still care about him. That never went away, but some friendships don't end because of a fight or something that someone did wrong or some big moment you can point to. There is none actually. So they end because one person quietly got tired of being the only one who ever picked up the phone. And the hardest part, the other person usually never even notices it's over. So here's what I want you to do right now. Open your messages, find the person you've been meaning to text, look at who sent the last message, and ask yourself how long it's been, because the answer is going to tell you something real about who's been carrying this relationship the whole time.